Thank you very much. I forgot I was a model. Well, today is indeed a very exciting day for me because about 6 years ago, I got a phone call from Celia. And it was beautiful because we had a beautiful exchange and discussion on the phone. And I think this discussion hasn't stopped because I feel so strongly, if there's anyone in this room that has inspired me, it's Celia Ilumba. This discussion had started 6 years ago, and this woman's passion and really patience to see this through is admirable. I am now a year of the pig, and I'm 71 years old. And I would like to say, Mr. Yang, your speech was definitely very, very, very beautiful. It energized me, and I feel that I should back out the calendar, pull it back, and I wish I was 28 years old, coming back from New York with big dreams. But after hearing you, I would like to share this big dream again, perhaps as a shadow of Celia Ilumba. So, when I arrived 28 years ago, the textile industry was okay. We were producing denim, Litton mills, and the Philippines was the Paris of Asia. I am the third generation of people in the weaving. My grandmother wove, and we got our silkworm and the cocoon from the pili nut tree in Bicol, where abaca is grown. So at 4 years old, I was playing amongst the loom, just having fun, and watching my grandmother dye silk with piña. It was very interesting for me at 4. I grew up that way at 12, and at 12, when my aunt opened the fashion school Slims, I really had to learn how to create pattern. Tell you the truth, Mr. Yang, I didn't want to be a designer. I wanted to be a philosopher, to write for the movies and the cinema. But because I needed to help my aunt in Slims, I did at the age of 12 sew my first short pants and trousers. And I cried as I was sewing. But let's move the calendar forward. 5 years in New York, 1 year at FIT, and I really learned a lot. The high standard my aunt told me, and I had to live up to that high standard, proved to me to be a big advantage at Fashion Institute of Technology. It was such a big advantage that I surpassed my classmates because I felt that the Slims curriculum helped me through. So it is with this introduction that I would like to encourage the young people in the audience today. It's really hard work to be a designer, but it is the most joyful work to be able to present beauty and make your audience feel it in the form of textile. Textile has been my biggest passion. If you told me that I had 60 days to live, what would I want myself to be surrounded with? Books on philosophy, existentialism, poetry of beautiful poetry, but I want to be surrounded by textile. 5 years ago, we were talking about luxury, and she said, it can coexist. So I kind of sometimes like to play the devil's advocate. I hope you will still like me. We don't have to be great friends, but we are two people in the same journey. Okay, so I did kind of leave weaving behind. And today, I want to report to you, I'm weaving lives. I'm weaving emotions, because for the 12 years I gave up weaving to be able to help those people, young people, who are suicidal and in depression. But let me tell you, with Celia, we're going to use the loom to heal those who are depressed. Am I right, Celia? So, please be with us, because my journey with Celia has just started. But what got me on the stage again is a lady who doesn't give up on me. And her name is Bea Rojas. I would like to say thank you to my friend who I admired at the age of 17 and who now is still my dearest friend. Thank you for telling me not to give up and to share the gift of talent that was given to me. May I share with you some photos, because you must dream big. With little steps, we can do it. I took over 16 looms, and I was the very reluctant owner of these looms. But somebody needed the money and the cash, so I did. And it's something I've always avoided, because I thought I'd rather do 23,000 to 25,000 garments every month for SM, because I did work with SM for 32 years. I was their fashion consultant, and at the wake of Mr. C, all the emotions came back to me, because that's the time I begged Litan Mills, Mr. Tanco, to please give Philippine Textile a break. But today, when we have businessmen like Mr. Yang, we're gonna have a break. And so, I'd like to show you that creativity starts from pulling together something of the past and putting it into the future. I'll just tell you what I did 18 years ago, and this was my fashion show. It was tribal. Coming back from America, I suddenly realized the wealth the Philippines has. Wealth. The wealth of talent, it's true, the wealth of labor, and the wealth of culture. So I did this show to present to a group of ASEAN, but I'd like to show it again to you. Shall we move on? And that's Mr. Sisip, who wore all my barongs. He must have 115 of my barongs, and some of them with real gemstones. So this is the tribal that I did. And I would like to tell you that everything is possible under the sun. But there's only one particular ingredient. You must know the basic core of what a design is. It's very important to know the pattern. It's very important to know the textile. And so, in my dream for the students, which I presented to Celia, I wish that we could have an exchange of the youth from Taiwan, from Korea, from Thailand. Sir, let us get the youth together. Let them have an exchange of culture. Let them exchange. Let them use our Philippine textile, and let's see what the Korean can do. Let's get Thai textile and see what we can do. We are now global. We are not thinking of ourselves as just an island in the geography of the world. So I was thinking that perhaps we can host 3 graduates and let them all participate in a very serious fashion parade, but serious enough that we can bring them to Europe. I did 14 years of show in Europe. Biennale and Maison d'Objet. And I'm very proud to tell you the Philippines under Cocoon was the very first company to ever join a European exhibit. On the 3rd year, Saitam joined, but it was very exciting for me. Of course, I helped Saitam because my heart was with Eli Pinto, another icon in our garment business. And if we could just, next, just get the businessmen to appreciate and have 5 scholars a year. At least a garment company, a textile company, to select a very passionate future international designer. To let her learn from the ABC of textile weaving, understanding the different threads, and really definitely 4 years of training in understanding a construction of a dress. That is part of it. 4 years is the American style. But in Europe, it's 12 years. The same like a medical doctor. Really 12 years. It's a science. It's an art, but it's also a science. Understanding the making of a garment. So, shall we go to the next, Hazel? We have so many new innovative techniques, and I would like to say thank you, PTRI, for all the new innovative, and one of the most I'm proud of is the sugarcane thread that you have done for Bea Rojas. A woman who doesn't stop dreaming and pushing me and pushing me. Thank you for pushing me, Bea. This sugar fiber thread, I hope, will conquer the world and bring us back into an attention. Aside from the abaca, the new abaca, and then I'm very excited even that we are also doing bamboo. We are very, very excited with these new things happening. So this is something I've done with the Russian model. If you have a look at it, in the weaving, I did fringes. And this was done 23 years ago, when fringes were not yet in fashion. So I did the fringes. Shall we move on? And this is copper that was imported by Ungaro 23 years ago in Paris. And then I worked with architects and interior designers who do furniture, and this was done by Gabriel Barredo. I wove this for the lamp, just for Gabriel. And this one is abaca silk. This is my idea of a modern. This was done 23 years ago. This was done because I don't really look good in a patadyong or a panuelo. So I decided if I were to wear Filipiniana, I want a very modern approach with a twist of Japanese clean lines. So I hope I'm forgiven for doing nothing so too classical. So I always want to jump over the border and experiment with something. And this one, I did a ruching on the piña. So I sewed and sewed it until it bubbled because I was so excited with miyake. And I said, oh my God, whenever can I take, but I met the teacher of miyake in Japan. And they asked me to be part of a textile group. That was 5 years, and then after that, I lost my child. I changed my course. If you're a pilot, I decided to land in another country. And that's the country of the brains. And so, over here, I decided to experiment with something really funky. And this is embroidery that I wanted to give to the women in prison. I still want to do it, and I think I can do it. So it's applique and collage, applique, and putting it on pillow. And I'm telling you, I did that 24 years ago. Today, I put it in my office for my mental health and wellness, and I'm getting orders 24 years after. So why not? We'll do it. And so the only thing I can tell everyone here is be fearless, be brave. And this new millennial generation is amazing. okay, they want everything instantaneously. But why not challenge them? Let's challenge. And for that, for today, from my own, I would like to give 2 scholars. Celia, from your participants, if I meet them one by one, and I see the passion, I would like to give. I will pay for 2 scholarships, and if I get any other, you can raise your hand. We can send it to Slims. It's not expensive. It's about 40 or 60,000 a semester. That's for 3 months. So do I get any? Can I get one? Mr. Young, can you give me 2 scholars? Mr. Clement Young, can you give me 2 scholars? Yay! So from our contestants, sir, where you will see the clothes, you will realize that the dream and the passion is within the clothes, but they need to study further. So will you be my partner? And so that's a reason for me to see you again and again. Okay? So, I am very excited. So it's about, I think, I don't know the exact price, but it's not expensive. And it's not expensive, sir. But you'll be happy. What do you think? Are there anybody, any young person here, less than 30 or 35, that wants to learn the perfect construction and pattern making? Raise your hand. No? No? Okay. Are you less than 35? 34 and a half? Or 24? Oh, there. So I have 2. I'll meet you backstage. So I'd like to say, be fearless and Happy New Year from a pig. Thank you.